So when it comes to the rent comps for the Haven, we wanted to give you a little bit more detail on kind of how we dissected the market and how we're looking at this from a rental perspective. So the first thing to note is not just in Charleston, but throughout the Southeast, what we're seeing with a lot of the build-to-rent communities is that they are not advertised on CoStar and similar type places. They're more frequently advertised on the MLS, or in many cases, particularly in Charleston, not advertised anywhere other than the developer or owner's particular website, which seems a little bit strange. So what we did for this analysis was we really looked to the MLS and the data on the MLS. We also show you what's on CoStar. But in order to kind of get what is the most likely rental rates and most comparable rental rates, we really went to that MLS. So in the first scenario, we looked at the surrounding 1 mile radius. What could you rent a similar type home for with similar beds and baths? And within a 1 mile radius, we saw that the average rental rate was $2,356. So that's almost $260 higher than what we're charging here currently at the Haven. So there's a lot of run room for that. If we wanted to look at a more exact comparable in terms of just simply townhomes and do it across greater suburban Charleston, really anywhere from North Charleston going out to Somerville, strictly 3-bedroom townhomes, we actually see a very surprising consistency in terms of that same rental rate that we saw in the radius. Throughout suburban Charleston, the average rental rate for a 3-bedroom townhome was $2,349, so a solid $250 more than the current asking rent at the Haven. So I think both of these just show that the market overall has a lot of upside. One of the unique things that we found out through that study was that the Haven actually has larger units than the majority of the comparables, and the majority of the comparables do not even have garages. So, there's a lot of build to rent that does not come with a one-car garage, and that's a distinct advantage here, paired with the location. The final thing we did do some analysis on was we simply looked to CoStar and said, within a 1 to 2 mile radius, what do garden-style apartments rent for? And those are renting for, on average, $2,047. And they are substantially smaller than these units. I mean, they are at least 30% smaller than these units. So we feel like we've got a real competitive advantage in terms of both the asset, what they're offering, the quality of the finishes, and I think as you look at the rental market as a whole, we are absolutely seeing that all the comparables are commanding this much higher rent. And so we think there's a lot of upside in these rental rates and encourage you to explore that and ask us any questions that you may have. Thanks.